Welcome to the Archer Shaw Temple Podcast, teachings for sovereign awakening, sacred union, and embodied devotion. I'm Christopher Shaw, here with Aeon Archer. May this transmission meet you exactly where you are and open the next doorway on your path. Let us begin.
All right. Thank you again, Roy, for that song. It's going to be stuck in my head now all night. I appreciate it. It's a good one. Family, I invite you to take a breath with me. Deep inhale and exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. Arriving here. You're entering a sacred space, a breath that remembers, a breath that returns you, a breath that brings you home to the one who lives within you. This evening, we gather not only to end a year, but to cross a threshold. We gather in the presence of the divine and the radiance of Sat Chit Ananda, meaning truth, consciousness, and bliss. In the protection of our ancestors, the guidance of our teachers, and the embrace of this community that has become family. We open our hearts, we open this temple, and we open this new year in devotion to our collective becoming. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Guru Om, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is. If you told me a year ago that I would be sitting here today, clear, sober, grounded, and in my purpose, with a partner, a ministry, a community, a temple rising from the soil of Puerto Vallarta, and a full constellation of sacred work emerging around me, I would not have believed you. Because last year at this time, I was not in a place of vision. I was in a place of total collapse. 3 years into addiction, 3 years of disappearing, 3 years of choosing isolation over connection, shame over support, and pain over possibility. Last New Year, I stayed home instead of going to my mother's house. I told myself it was the weather, but truthfully, I didn't want to face the love I didn't feel worthy of. I chose the darkness I knew instead of the light that scared me. And I lay there at the end of December, feeling the ache of another year closing with nothing changing, and feeling stuck inside a life I didn't know how to leave. And many of you know this feeling. The Bhagavad Gita calls it moha, the fog, the confusion of the soul. Buddhist teachings call it dukkha, the suffering that comes from misalignment. And the Psalms call it the valley of the shadow. And we all have valleys. We all have nights of wrestling. We all have moments where the year ends and we think, I should be farther by now. I should be different. Why can't I get it right? But dear family, the end of a year is not a judgment. It's an invitation. Shortly after that new year, I was invited into a spiritual mastermind group. And here's the truth. I knew I wasn't ready. I knew my life was not in integrity. I knew addiction still had its claws in me. But something deeper, something ancient, rose inside of me and whispered, take a leap. And that leap became the doorway of my resurrection. When I entered that first call, I heard the stories of the 7 other participants. And one story struck me like lightning. It mirrored mine with uncanny precision. And that was the first time I heard Christopher's story. And in that moment, my entire soul recognized this is a divine appointment, a moment of providence, a doorway created by something greater than myself. The Upanishads say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But sometimes that teacher shows up as another wounded healer, telling the truth you've been too afraid to speak. Christopher's story broke open my silence, and I made one of the most courageous decisions of my life. I told the truth. I reached out and I told him everything. The addiction, the shame, the hiding, the fear. And instead of abandonment, I was met with compassion. Instead of judgment, I was met with acceptance. Instead of being discarded, I was held fully in my humanity, in my divinity. It was the first time in years that I saw my worth reflected back to me. Now, my story is personal, but the principle is universal. Every sacred tradition gives the same teaching. Jesus said, "The truth will set you free." And the Yoga Sutras mention satya, truthfulness. When one is established in truth, actions and their fruit align. Buddha said, "In the moment of seeing clearly, liberation arises." The Kabbalah says the light enters only where the vessel is open. You see, truth is the doorway. Truth is the initiation. Truth is the first step toward becoming who we truly are. And the moment you choose truth, the universe rearranges itself around your willingness to be real. Now, there is a healing power in community. So Christopher and I spoke and we came up with a plan. And then came the second act of courage. I told the truth to the entire mastermind group. The fear of rejection was heavy. But beloveds, they held me with more grace than I'd ever received from my peers. They did not shame me. They did not pull away. They did not try to fix me. They held me tenderly, fiercely, and fully. That group became my lifeline, my scaffolding, my soul family, my horizon council in embryo. In the yogic tradition, this is sangha, the sacred community that lifts the soul into awakening. The Buddha said, community is not half the path, it is the entire path. And for me, that was true. Now, there's some hard and beautiful work when it comes to recovery, because recovery was not glamorous. It was messy. It was slow. It was agonizing at times. But I kept going. And in that slow climb, I rediscovered something I had lost: my worth, my voice, my heart, and my purpose. I remembered that my deepest desire has always been to be of service, to bring love, understanding, and healing. But I learned a truth that every mystic eventually discovers: you cannot transmit what you do not give yourself. And so I began to give myself what I had long withheld: compassion, honesty, dignity, devotion, and space to grow. And not surprisingly, the universe responded. Grace met me at every turn. Support rose beneath my feet. Synchronicity opened path after path. And this is what the Bhagavad Gita means when it says, when you take one step toward Dharma, Dharma takes 100 steps towards you. And now my entire life is a living testament to that principle. Now, this is where the story turns toward the future, because everything I lived this year teaches one essential truth. Transformation begins with one act of courage, and continues with one act of honesty, and expands with one act of trust. And as we enter a new year, this becomes our collective teaching. Where are you being called to tell the truth? Where are you being asked to rise? Where is your soul pulling you forward? And what doorway is waiting for your yes? This year ahead is not random, it is an initiation. This is a year of embodiment, a year of clarity, a year of sacred leadership, a year of stepping fully into who you are. And before we cross that threshold together, before we step into the new becoming that awaits us, we must pause and turn toward the year that has brought us here. Because spiritual growth is not only about visioning what is next, it is about honoring the ground we've already walked. The teachers we met, the grace that carried us, the courage that rose within us, the miracles that unfolded quietly while we were still learning how to stand. And family, to enter the new year consciously, we must look back with reverence. We must acknowledge the fingerprints of the divine in every chapter of this year. We must honor what courage has created. We must name the blessings that were born because we dared to keep going. When I look at what this year has brought forth, I am humbled to my knees. And I don't use that phrase lightly, because everything I'm about to name did not arise from perfection, did not arise from spiritual superiority, did not arise from having it all together. It arose from truth. It arose from surrender. It arose from trembling, yes, spoken in the dark when I didn't know the way forward. This year became a garden I did not know that I was planting. So I want to take a moment of gratitude for the year that we've walked through. First, I'd like to give gratitude to Christopher, my partner in life and spirit. I want to start with gratitude that lives right at the center of my heart, the gift of serving and loving alongside Christopher. This man has been a mirror, a teacher, a companion, a witness, a co-creator, and a soul ally sent by Providence. Through Merkaba Temple, Merkaba Retreats, and the deeper currents of our life together, we have become not just two individuals walking side by side, but a pair of instruments tuned to the same frequency of service, devotion, and awakening. The Gospel of Matthew says, "Where two or more gather in my name, I am there in the midst." And I feel that truth every time we sit in council, every time we pray, every time we teach, and every time we serve. Christopher, thank you for seeing me when I could not see myself, for holding me when I could not hold myself, for being the first person in many years to look into my chaos and recognize my soul. Our partnership is one of the greatest blessings of this lifetime. And next, I bow to this temple, to all of you, with deep reverence, to each one of you who show up week after week, month after month, through seasons of joy and seasons of unraveling. Merkaba Temple is not a brand, it is not an organization, it is a living field of transformation, a body of light built by every one of your prayers, a sanctuary for the world that is being born. The Upanishads say, wherever there is a gathering seeking truth, the divine is already present. And beloveds, you have made that true here. In gratitude for Merkaba Retreats, to the souls who journeyed with us this year in Merkaba Retreats, who came open-hearted, who cried, who laughed, who released and remembered their power. You are the reason this work exists. Watching you blossom, watching you break open, watching you rise, it has been one of the holiest privileges of my life. And I have to give gratitude for my recovery groups. Recovery is not a private miracle, it is a communal one. The people who sat with me in those first fragile months, per se, you're one of them, the ones who listened to my story, prayed with me, supported me, laughed with me, challenged me, they are all part of my resurrection. The Buddha said, the refuge in the sangha, and the sangha is community. And truly, my recovery community has been a refuge of light. Gratitude for the souls walking this path, the Horizon Council, Jacob, Irena, Perse, Roy, each of you has become a pillar in this unfolding movement of awakening. You have brought your devotion, your brilliance, your song, your tears, your courage, your insight. You did not just attend, you arrived. You show up with your whole selves. The Talmud says when you save one life, you save the world entire. And each of you, through your own healing, your own awakening, your own work, has saved worlds inside yourselves. And through that, blessed this entire community. You are the Horizon Council because you embody the horizon of what is possible in the human spirit. And I have to give gratitude to Louis and Maria, the birth of the Om here in Puerto Vallarta. The miracle of meeting Louis and his mother Maria, a family with deep roots here in Puerto Vallarta, a lineage of devotion, a heart for healing, a vision aligned with our own. Together we have birthed the Om Collective, a cross-cultural, cross-border, cross-generational movement of wellness, yoga, surf, community, and spiritual emergence. This connection was orchestrated far beyond anything we could have planned ourselves. It is the embodiment of the Vedic truth. When the heart is pure, the path appears. Louis, Maria, I am honored to walk this path with you. In gratitude for our temple space in Puerto Vallarta, and now a dream has become form, the Archer Shaw Temple in PV, a physical space, not just walls and floors, but a sanctuary for awakening, a lighthouse for the community, a home for yoga, meditation, council, ceremony. We have not only built a temple, we anchored a frequency. The Tao says the master builds with the invisible. This temple was built from intention, prayer, devotion, and love long before the construction is finished. And finally, the gratitude for the yoga and retreat space. This next manifestation almost feels unreal from where I was a year ago. It blows my mind. A full-scale yoga studio and retreat center, a place where souls will gather, heal, awaken, practice, rest, and rebirth. To see this emerging in the same year that began in darkness for me is nothing short of miraculous. The Bhagavad Gita says, out of the darkness, light is born. Out of the light, a new path emerges. And we are living that verse. We are its embodiment. And beloveds, this is only the beginning for all of us. So everything I've shared tonight is not about me. My story is simply the backdrop for a truth that belongs to all of us. Your past cannot prevent your purpose. Addiction could not stop destiny. Shame could not stop grace. And fear could not stop emergence. One act of truth can redirect an entire lifetime. Everything changed when I told the truth. You do not evolve alone. Community is the womb of transformation. Sangha, counsel, companionship, this is where new lives are born. You cannot transmit what you do not give yourself. Self-love is not indulgence. It is spiritual responsibility. When you align your dharma, doors open effortlessly. The universe responds to authenticity. You are always one choice away from resurrection. Always one choice away. The new year is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you already are. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, if you bring forth what is within you will save you. And this year, I brought forth what was within me, and it saved my life. Next year, beloveds, you will bring forth what is within you, and it will transform everything. So the invitation for the new year, as we cross this threshold together, the question before each of us is simple. Where is your courage calling you? What truth have you been avoiding? What doorway is waiting for your yes? And what version of yourself is asking to be born? This year ahead is not merely a calendar cycle, it is a spiritual initiation, a year of embodiment, integrity, sacred leadership, devotion, creativity, clarity, and most importantly, community. A year where your dharma becomes unavoidable. A year where your divine reveals itself through your life. A year of miracles that arise not from effort, but from alignment. Let us close with prayer. Beloved ones, as we step into this new year, may your truth rise like a dawn within you. May your courage awaken like a flame. May every old story fall away like ash. May you be guided by the wisdom of your soul. May you be anchored in the breath of God. May you be surrounded by community that lifts you. May you receive the blessings that are already on their way. And may your path unfold in grace, clarity, devotion, and purpose. May your healing bless the world. May your becoming be a gift to all who know you. And may you remember always that you are held, you are guided, you are chosen, and you are loved. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Guru Om. Amen. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. Now, family, let this teaching settle. There's nothing to take in right now, only something to allow. Christopher will now lead us into a short guided meditation to help integrate what has been spoken and let it land in the body. Simply listen, simply breathe, simply receive.
Oh, that was powerful. Thank you, my love, so much. Abadea.
Avadeo.
What a year. What an incredible year. We are blessed beyond measure. So let us all begin by simply arriving. If it's comfortable, allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze. Feel the weight of your body supported by the ground beneath you, noticing where you are held. Take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and exhale gently through the mouth. Again, inhaling presence and exhaling any unnecessary effort. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nothing to fix, nothing to become. Just allow yourself to be here. Bringing one hand to your heart, or rest both hands easily in your lap. Noticing the steady rhythm of your breath. Noticing the quiet intelligence of your body. This body has carried you through an entire year of living, through moments of clarity and moments of uncertainty, through courage, through release, and through becoming. Take a moment to silently acknowledge that. Now bringing your awareness to the center of your chest. Not to analyze, but just to feel. Notice if there is warmth there, or stillness, or even numbness. Whatever is present is enough. Gently, in your own inner voice, offer one word of gratitude for something this year has given you. It might be obvious, or subtle, or something that only you know. And let that gratitude rest in the heart without forcing emotion. Now allow your awareness to widen to include your whole body. From the crown of your head, down through your throat, the chest, the belly, your hips, legs, and feet. Feeling yourself fully here, inhabiting your own life. Now, without searching, let one truth rise naturally, not a goal and not a resolution, simply a truth you already know, something that has become clear through lived experience. And you don't need to name it out loud, just recognize it. And let that truth settle into the body as a quiet steadiness. And if it feels right, silently affirm, I am aligned with what is true. I trust what has already been revealed. Take another slow breath. Feel the ground beneath you, the room around you. Feel the presence of this community. Many bodies, many stories, all held within the same field. Rest here for a few moments in simple awareness. And when you're ready, begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle around your fingers and toes. And when it feels natural, open your eyes and come back to this place. Take your time coming back. Let what's settled in the meditation remain with you. There's no need to rush. Thank you for joining us at Archer Shaw Temple. If this teaching served you, share it with someone ready to awaken. To go deeper, schedule your complimentary soul alignment session at archershaw.guru. Until next time, walk in truth, devotion, and sovereignty.